Yeah, man. Welcome to the Yotas 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 podcast, where we talk about everything Toyota.
See what we can find out about this Japanese truck.
Adventure stories.
Let's got the fucking COVID, so fuck.
No. Yeah, I'm cooking your food with COVID.
Rigs.
I'm accessorizing on the trail. Or some shit came loose and I'm trying to tighten it.
Anything that has the T on it, we love it.
That's what happens when you buy a big truck. You gotta fucking get in there and keep her happy, you know what I'm saying? Can't be fucking around. You gotta get your whole body in there.
I hope you enjoy, because we enjoy bringing it to you. This is the Yotas 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 podcast, and welcome aboard.
Oh, man. What's up, guys? We're going to do something totally different today. You know what I'm saying? Video. It's time for this podcast to expand and grow. Yeah, so it's time to do some video. Let's see if I got everything I need, dude. I got my Zinners. I got my coffee. Shout out to 516 Ceramics. Sharon over at 516 Ceramics makes some of the best ceramics coming straight out of the USA, out of Arizona, matter of fact. Had her on a podcast not too long ago. But yeah, this is one of my favorite mugs. Got my mud. Alex will appreciate that. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately and praying on things and just listening. And it's time to grow this podcast. You know, I'm a storyteller. Those of you who know me know that I'm a storyteller, and this podcast is one of this podcast is one of the great ways for me to tell my story. And not only am I a storyteller, but I love hearing stories, right? I want to hear stories. I just love stories, man. Movies, books, you name it. And so this podcast is a way for me to help you share your story. And like I said, it's just time for this thing to expand. I've done a few videos in the past. You've seen those over at Westcott Designs. Shout out to Westcott Designs. Done a couple videos. But we're going to start doing this more, okay? We're going to branch out. We're going to get the YouTube going. And I said, like I said, time to grow this podcast. So, really what I wanted to do today was I wanted to break down the recent, events that played out in Sedona, which were fun and exciting and wild. And, I just kind of want to get into it with you guys. So, if you've been following the Instagram, then you know that I went out to Sedona and had some carnage, had some breakages. The truck broke down on me, and so I just kind of wanted to give the rundown on that. And like I said on the Instagram, you know, I woke up. Actually, this was yesterday. Today's Sunday. Today is Sunday, and yesterday on Saturday, I woke up in the morning and I had this wild hair up my ass. Now, Sedona's been calling me for what seems like weeks now. You can even ask Alex. I asked Alex the other day, like a week or so ago, I was like, hey man, Sedona's calling, dude. Anybody want to go to Sedona and this and that? And so I woke up in the morning and I was like, fuck it, dude. Let's go. You know what I mean? The crazy thing is in my mind, I was going through all the things that I was going to need to bring with me. And one of the things, I had some tools on the truck, and one of the things I quite specifically remember was, do I need to put my impact on the truck? Because I redid the back of the truck to change the weight and move things around to make it more efficient for me. And one of the things that happened is the impact that was typically always in one of the toolboxes, that toolbox with the impact came out. And so I remember specifically thinking, do I need the impact? And I thought, nah, man, I got those Hercules tires, boy. So I ain't going to need to change no fucking tire. I don't need no impact. I got wrenches on there in case, but I was like, nah. Let's put the impact on the truck and bring it. You never know when you might need to help somebody out on the trail. And so this impact could come in handy. They always come in handy. So I put the impact on and off we go on my way to Sedona. And one of the main goals or reasons I wanted to go was, hey, I've been kind of quiet on Instagram, and I was thinking, let me go up here and get a bunch of pictures and bring the tripod, set the camera up, and get some video and get some pictures and just get back engaged in the Instagram for a bit. Because like I said, I've been quiet. Well, one of the things I've been quiet about, like I said, is I've been praying on this podcast and really been praying on my calling and I mean that's a little bit outside of the Yoda realm. And so I was like, let's get re-engaged, and so I went on this solo trip. I just decided to go up there. So I get up there and I air down. And I get out into the dirt, and the trail I wanted to run was Broken Arrow. And something that I've been to Broken Arrow several times in the past. And every time I've been to Broken Arrow was in the old truck, the old 2-wheel drive with the locker, the Pearl. The Pearl got me through. And I really wanted to take the new truck up there, the 4-wheel drive, the long bed, and just see what she does and see how some of these obstacles and some of these things play out in the 4-wheel drive, because I hadn't done that. I hadn't done it in the 4-wheel drive. And so anyway, like I said, there's if you haven't done Broken Arrow in Sedona, I highly recommend. It's a great trail. And everything seemed to be going good. I got out there. Pardon me 1 second here. So I got out there, you get to the little staging area, this little parking lot, air down, get up through the deal. And a couple 100 yards in from the parking lot is kind of the first obstacle. You got to climb up, and then there's a nice plateau there where a lot of people park and take pictures. And, it's the opening little area to the whole Broken Arrow Trail. Put it in 4-wheel drive, walk up that first obstacle, like never before, just cruise up it. I get up to play in the little area, and sure enough, bam! Oh, crap, what the heck is this? I remember looking out the window and seeing a ball bearing rolling. I was like, that's my CV, isn't it? Damn it. And sure enough, got under, looked underneath, and my CV exploded. Exploded on it was the driver's side CV axle, and it exploded at the hub where it meets the spindle, right? So the outer side, the wheel side, the tire side. I guess those Hercules tires were just a little bit too much. Those Hercules tires. And the thing exploded on me, and I was just like, okay, well, shit happens. And I thought, well, let me think about how I'm going to do this. So I got on the horn to call a couple of the buddies. Call Ben at AZ Toy Pros. First and foremost, first phone call goes out to Ben because he is the godfather of Toyota. Shout out to AZ Toy Pros. So I called Ben, but no answer, right? Come to find out later that Ben's off camping with the homies. So, yeah, completely understandable. If I was out camping, I'd fucking have my phone on mute too and I answer you bitches. But anyway, so Ben didn't answer. I called Alex, who did come to save the day, but come to find out he was still snoozing. So he didn't answer at first. So then I called up the homie Zach. And I had a good conversation. I'm chatting with Zach. And we're discussing options because I'm thinking, what do I do here now? Because this thing's completely disengaged. I mean, the thing grenaded, right? It's completely detached, and I'm kind of at a loss here. I've never had one broken. I've replaced one in the driveway before. I did that on the old truck because the rubber CV boot. Now, the CV axle, right, it has the axles, and it has the rubber boots, and the rubber boots kind of keep all the grease and the components, the moving components protected. It's a rubber boot, one on each end. So the other CV, the rubber boot broke, and I replaced it, brand new Toyota OEM. So I know how to get in there, take the thing apart, and replace it. I understand the concepts of that. And know how to do that. But with this situation, I realized, you know what? I don't have my spare CV. I have a spare CV. Since I replaced the one and put a brand new one in, I have that extra one. Has a torn boot on it, but the thing is still functional in my shed in the garage. So as I was thinking about not having to change the Hercules tires... And the reason I say that like that is because Alex picks on me because I did that little deal with the Hercules tires, giving him kind of like a shout out. And I made that little reel about it. And he's like, dude, why did you say Hercules tires? It's like, it gives me shit every time. So it's going to forever from here on out, it's always going to be Hercules tires. You better get with the game. And so anyway, as I was thinking about getting my impact, for some reason that CV's been in the shed. And part of the reason I redid the back of the truck was so I could make room for the CV. And lo and behold, I didn't put it on there. So, like we say, Limitless does dumb shit. Well, so does Yotas, Yotas, Yotas. And this was kind of a big dummy move on my part, not having that CV on there, which won't happen in the future. So anyway, after talking to Zach, I was thinking, dude, what do I do? Like, I really, will this thing come out? I'm just thinking, well, what we'll do is we'll just remove the part that's broken, and then I'll drive it home in two-wheel drive. I'm right at the beginning of the trail, and I've driven that trail in two-wheel drive anyway. I'm confident in my skills, but I like something right at the beginning of the trail. So let's yank this thing out. And Zach and I are talking about it. Well, if you remove the cage unit that's shoved into the differential and you pull that out, you're going to leak differential fluid. And I don't want to leak differential fluid all over, I don't want to lose all the diff fluid out of there. I don't want to leak it everywhere, but I also want to lose it and burn the thing up. So we're discussing that, and we're trying to figure that out. And then Alex calls, and so I'm talking to Alex, and we're thinking about it. And Alex is like, you know what, dude, I'll come up there. You got that spare CV. Actually, Alex was gonna buy me one. He's like, dude, I'll buy you one, and I'll come up there. And I'm like, you don't have to buy one, dude. Why don't you stop at my house? It's on the way up off of I-17. On your way up, stop at the house, get the spare out of the shed for me, bring it up, and we'll swap it out right here, and we'll be good to go. So he does that. What a friend, right? What a friend, dude. I mean, I'd do the same. Absolutely. So anyway, I call my neighbor. And I said, hey, neighbor, can you go into the backyard and pull the thing out and set it in the front? So Alex swoops by, and Alex crews over. He grabbed the CV, and he's on his way up. So while he's doing that, we had discussed some different options of maybe trying to tie the thing off, use a ratchet strap to hold it up so that I could just drive down to the parking area. I attempted to do that, but since the casing on the inner side of the casing on the inner side, the side that broke, it was shredded, like half of it completely grenaded out of there. As I roll forward, as it would roll, the opening, the CV would just sort of pop out, and it would want to engage some other things. So I'd roll forward, it would pop out. If I rolled back, it rolled in, and I wasn't comfortable driving it, any further than what I had already kind of driven it, because I don't want to break anything else. And you break something else, a brake line or some other thing like that. I don't want to break a brake line. That'd be catastrophic. We wouldn't be going anywhere. So I decided to just sort of get the truck to a position where when Alex got here, we'd be able to work it. And, I wasn't pissed, thankfully. I wasn't pissed off. This is kind of a new thing for me lately, is accepting the place that I'm at and not getting pissed. Those are my friends who've been with me before. When catastrophe strikes, I can get a little aggressive. I have in the past, but anyway, I wasn't. And what better place to be broken down than Sedona? You know what I mean? It's just a beautiful scenery. So, I had my coffee, I got my Zen, I got my coffee, and I'm just gonna relax. There's a nice breeze. It's only like 80 degrees in Sedona, so that's beautiful. And so I'm chilling. And Alex is keeping me posted on things as he's coming up. And so Alex lets me know, hey, I got the CV. I'm on my way. He sends me a picture, dude. I'm on Morgan Road or I'm just in Sedona. And I thought to myself, well, let's get this thing on the high lift. Let's start to jack this thing up. Let's get the wheel off, and let's get ready for Alex. And as I get the wheel off, I'm going to use the impact that I got. I put the impact on, and the lug nuts are tripping. They're spinning, but they're not backing out, which is another issue that Alex brought to my attention, which I didn't know about. I guess those factory lugs have some kind of cap on them or casing on them. Anyway, I thought just like Limitless, I was thinking that my spacers are stripped. So I mean, this is an issue that I'm still gonna have to deal with. I'm still gonna have to figure out how to get that tire off. So in the process of this is when I started to get frustrated, right? I started to get frustrated because, oh, fuck, now really what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do? We can't get the tire off, then we can't get the CV out, and we can't replace the damn thing. You have to get the tire off in order to replace this thing. So I decided, you know what? Let me just take a breather, and Alex will be here any minute. And so the cavalry arrives. And so he gets up here and he tells me, you know, and I tell him what's going on. He kind of tells me, Alex works for a tire shop. You know, Alex has been doing tires for years now. So he knows about these lug nuts. And he's like, I don't think that your spacer's broken or that it's stripped out. I think it's these particular OEM Toyota lugs that are kind of funky. And we'll have to do a follow-up on that. I'll do another follow-up after I get this thing, you know, situated and figure that out. But he's telling me it's probably not that. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do, dude? Because we got to get this thing out of here. And so we had discussed, you know, well, and we had discussed taking it out and maybe putting a cup in there or stuffing a rag in there or something to keep all the fluid from leaking out. And I was thinking to Alex, I was like, well, you know, I'm thinking what we're going to have to do here is cut the rubber boot. Because I think what's happening here is that the rubber boot is the only thing holding the axle from sliding out of the cage or the insert that inserts into the differential. It's just because you can stretch it, right? You can grab it and pull on it, and it'll stretch that rubber boot. And I'm thinking we're gonna have to cut that boot. We're gonna have to, you know, unhook that boot. Which I don't know why I didn't think of that before he got there either. I guess it hadn't occurred to it didn't occur until right then while he's sitting there. Well, we're gonna have to cut the boot off. And since he was coming up and we were just going to replace the thing, I think maybe I was thinking in my mind, well, we'll replace the CV and we'll go run Broken Arrow, you know, Alex and I, and we'll get the content and we'll do the things and I'll be with the homie and it'll be awesome. And so anyway, I'm thinking about that. We're going to have to cut the boot and we're thinking about this and that. And I was like, you know what? Let me get down there and yank on the thing. And wouldn't you fucking know, I yanked on it and the rubber boot just popped right off. The rubber boot just popped right off of the insert, the cage that's into the differential, and I popped the damn thing, it came right off. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, look at him, he looks at me like, well, I guess that solves that problem. It's like, dude, I can't believe that this thing just popped out. You didn't need to show up, brother. And Alex, being the gentleman and scholar that he is, he didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, dude, these things happen. And you live and you learn. And you know what? Fuck it, dude. We're in Sedona, man. Look at this place. Like, this is amazing. You know, we made some more videos of the situation, which I'm sure you've seen on Instagram, or you can head on over to the Instagram, Yotas 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 Instagram, and you can see some of the stuff that we did where we're picking on me, and I'm picking on myself. But in the end, you know, in the long run, Alex and I, you know, we got to bond. We got a closer friendship out of it, and we went to some hole in the wall Mexican food joint in Sedona and had some good Mexican food, which was a whole other story. And just had a great conversation over things, and you know, and I learned a valuable lesson, which is one that I've known and I know, and typically speaking, I'm usually pretty prepared. And this 4-wheel drive is newer to me, right? I'm used to having a 2-wheel drive, which is kind of different. You know, with the 4-wheel drive, there are some extra components, obviously, some things that need to be taken a little more seriously, right? Like CVs. And if you're a Toyota person who modifies and wheels, we all pretty much know that you gotta have a spare CV. It's one of the weak links on the Toyota are those front CVs, and they're prone to break. And you probably heard me say in the videos, you know, in the content that I was talking about, that the front end had some kind of noise. There was a noise coming from the front end when it would engage, you know, an obstacle or a curb. I wasn't sure what it was. Ben and I, we spent some time listening to it and trying to figure out. We couldn't figure out what it was, and I'm thinking that maybe it was this. Maybe that cage had a crack in it, or it was loose, and maybe as you engaged, it's possible. I don't know yet. I haven't gone out and driven the thing up a curb without the thing in there to see if it still makes the noise. It could, maybe not. In my mind, maybe that's just me trying to figure out what was going on with the thing in the first place. I don't know. But suffice it to say, I learned several things, right? Number one, bring a spare CV, right? Number two, you can disengage that thing if you don't have a spare CV. You can pull those boots apart and get that thing apart so that you can roll forward in two-wheel drive without having to pull the coupling. I don't know the proper nomenclature of these things, without having to pull that out of the differential and losing all of your fluid. Another thing that Alex and I sort of, it came to him and he was like, when you rebuild this thing, because actually now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the CV that was my spare, which had a torn boot on it, and I'm going to pull the boots off of this one because the boots are still good, and I'm going to reboot the other one. That way I have that CV in there. It'll be a good idea to buy a brand new one, but I still and replace it down the road, but at least I can get another CV in there and be fully functional. And I'll get the opportunity to put together, kind of rebuild the CV, rebuild the boots. I think I have an idea what needs to be done. But what Alex was saying, and this is not a bad idea, if anybody has an old CV, let's just say you don't have a CV and you're in this same predicament. I'm going to keep that cup. I'm going to keep the cup that goes into the differential with the part of the differential that goes in there, and I'm just going to bring that with me. Because then if you bust a CV and you're in a situation like this, you can plug that back into the diff and not lose all your fluid, which I think was a pretty good idea. Shout out to Alex. And Alex is at LRG_tree_01 because he's got the big ass 01 Sequoia that's like a fucking tree. And that motherfucker, he's kind of a big boy like a tree too. So trees driving trees. You are Groot, Alex. Ooh, I think I just got a new nickname for you, player. You are Groot. So that's what happened, man. And we live and we learn, right? We live and we learn and then we move forward. So that's the story of my Sedona the wild hair Sedona trip, man. And I just, again, I just thank God for good friends. I thank God for a good disposition to not get frustrated. God puts us through every situation God puts you in, he puts you in situations that you can handle. He won't ever throw anything at you that you can't handle. And knowing that is just great. The proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. And so here we are, right? And also, through the conversation with Alex, I'm convinced that the whole thing was all pretty much just to get Alex and I together to sit down and have lunch together and have an awesome conversation about the things to come and what we're doing and where we're going and where I'm going in particular. And hence I'm sitting here in front of you making a video because, again, it's time for me to grow this podcast. Which leads me into, the next part of kind of something I want to share with you guys is I really want this podcast to blow up. It would be great if it could be a second job. Those of you who know me a little better, and you've heard me, talk about some of these things here and there, is that I do pest control, right? I sort of fell into pest control about 10 years ago. And just recently I started my own pest control business, my own company. And I've been doing that for about a year now. And it's slow going, right? It's slow and it's slow, but what I really want to do is tell stories, man. Like I said, I'm a storyteller, right? And I really want to tell stories and I really want to share stories one of the things about the podcast was I see all of these folks driving these rigs on Instagram, and we get just a snippet of people's adventures in their trucks and in their rigs. Just get a snippet of that on Instagram, right? It's like a taste, and I just want to reach through the camera, and I want to talk to those people driving those trucks. I want to get to know their story, why they drive a Toyota, what brought them to Toyota, now that they're in a Toyota, or have they been in a Toyota their whole lives? Are they Toyota for life? And just sort of tap into this community, because I know that when I got into this community, it embraced me with open arms. And again, think about it. If it wasn't for Toyota, I wouldn't know Alex. I wouldn't know Ben. I wouldn't know Zach. I wouldn't know these guys, right? And the proof is in the pudding, man. That the Toyota community is fantastic. And so that's what I wanted to tap into, because of my love for Toyota and my love for storytelling and my love for hearing others' stories. And I wanted to sort of have a platform where we could do that. And when I first looked into, is there a podcast that's kind of strictly Toyota? No, there wasn't, right? I couldn't find one. There wasn't a Toyota specific type of podcast. There are off-roading podcasts, and there were overlanding podcasts, and those podcasts included people who drove Toyotas, but there wasn't this sort of Toyota-specific podcast. And I already had the name Yotas Yotas Yotas. I had it copywritten. I started an LLC. That was actually technically the first business I started, was Yotas Yotas Yotas. And the original idea was to sell some T-shirts. Let's make some T-shirts. Let's make some swag. Let's make some patches, and let's get out there. And that's why I started the Instagram, was to try to like I said, give back to the community, provide a product, provide something that shows the love that I have and that my friends have, Lance and Jay, V, and so that was my idea. And as we were doing that, we kind of realized the difficulties in making products and this and that. And it takes, takes money to make some money. And I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again, because it's part of my story, telling my story. I have a little bit of background in some audio engineering. Excuse me. I have some background in audio engineering. More than a decade ago, I turned a garage into a recording studio. I was surrounded by a bunch of musicians, and I wasn't the best at playing the guitar or these things. But what I really thought was, I can record, right? I like that part of it. Again, helping you share your story is something that's big for me. And I thought, if I could learn how to do the audio engineering, I could record you guys, help you guys tell your story. And my story will grow through helping you guys grow your story. And so I went to school for audio engineering. I built a recording studio in a garage, produced a hip hop album with the homies, the Prominent Sons. You can find the Prominent Sons. You can certainly find them on iTunes. I believe there are some stuff on iTunes. If I remember correctly, the album that we produced, Prominent Sons, Rise and Shine, you can find on bandcamp.com. If that's still around, I haven't looked in years. I mean, I have all of the masters here, so I can just download them straight to my phone. And so I got to live another little dream of mine of being a rapper. In case you didn't know that, well, now you do. And again, storytelling, right? I wrote poetry years ago, and I love hip hop. I'm a friggin' hip hop junkie. And so I got to live that dream of being involved in making a hip-hop album, featuring on the album, writing lyrics. I still do, to this day, have some music, right? The music that's for the Yotas 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 theme song, that's my music. I made that music, produced it right here with this equipment and this knowledge. And so anyway, I thought, well, you know what? Podcasts are a big thing, and I know there are a lot of them out there. There are millions of them. I recently heard actually that the number of podcasts is dropping down. And I think that's due to people people commit to these podcasts, or not commit, but people start these podcasts and maybe they don't grow as big as they wanted them to, or they dreamed of them to. And so they stop or they give up. Me, I'm not going to do that. I'm here for the long haul. You know, like I said, I love doing this, and you guys have validated that for me on more times than I can count. It seems that just about every time I go to a new event, Westcott Designs or an AZ Toy Pros event, a Limitless throws an event, and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, you're the Yotas guy, aren't you?" "Yeah, man." It's like, "When's the next one coming, dude? I'm fiending, dude. I need some juice. I need some Yotas podcast, brother. Give me another one. I need something for that commute to work." And that just fills my heart and reminds me that, hey, I'm on the right path, you know, and that the voice is out there. And so again, like I said, I think one of the biggest things that came out of this whole thing in Sedona was this was what I'm receiving is that it's time to expand, it's time to grow, it's time to put more into the podcast. And I was even considering, you know, letting the pest control thing go and just fully committing to doing the podcast, which is a huge risk. That would be such a huge risk. You know, but one of the things Alex told me, and the things that I've heard in my good book is that, hey, you can do both. You can do both. You can do all things. All things are possible. And so I think that was really what it was about, was hey man, you're in this community, bro, and we love you, and keep doing what you're doing because it fuels us. And you guys fuel me, and God fuels me. And I can do both, right? I can do a pest control company and I could do a podcast. And so that was something that I heard through Alex. And thank you, Alex. Again, man, I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. What a good friend. And I'll be there for you in a heartbeat if you need me. And that goes, I think, for the most of the folks in the Toyota community are that way. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You know, Toyota has this reputation of being reliable, right? And I think that all of our energy together, we've created that. They created the product, and we've supported that product, and we continue to. And through their product and through our belief in that product, Toyota maintains this reputation of just reliability. The people in the community are reliable. The vehicles are reliable. And I want to be reliable in presenting my story to you and helping those of you in the community that want to come aboard and share your story. You know, let's do this damn thing. Right? Let's do this thing. And so here I am. And this is going to be one of the first videos that I put together, kind of doing this solo thing. I think in the future we will do more of these where I chat with you. You know what I mean? Get in the comments. Again, this is going to go on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, Yotas 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 channel on YouTube. A lot of the trailers that I put together that you've seen, those are on there. There are some other things on there. But I think with this video, get on YouTube, like and subscribe, put down in the comments some things, and let's chat, right? You chat with me through these comments. Let's tell me what you guys want to hear me talk about, you know? Engage with me. Let's get engaged. Tell me if you think there's someone you want to see on the podcast or you want to hear on the podcast. And again, if we're local or we're out and about, I'll bring the podcast to you. You can come to me. If you're somewhere outside of the area near me, we'll continue to do the phone calls. That'll be audio only. Maybe we'll put my face on here, or we'll figure out how to do a FaceTime and record that. I know a lot of folks do that and have successful podcasts in that area, which means, again, I just got to put a little more effort into this podcast myself. That's why I'm here doing this and talking with you guys like this, because you know, let's see each other, let's talk to each other, and let's build our community through this. Like I said, I want to give back as much as I want to participate. I really want to give back and share my story and share your stories. So thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope in the future that you know, you'll continue to tune in. I know you will. I know some of you guys are diehards out there. And again, shout out to Alex, LRG Tree, my good friend, man. And on to the next big adventure. Peace, guys.